quite the torrid session for the equity markets here in India, and that is primarily on account of fears of the rising COVID-19 cases. We saw 1.7 lakh cases being reported in the 24 hours to 8 a.m. this morning, and there's also buzz about a lockdown in Maharashtra. Now the caveat, of course, is that we do not know at this point what form it will take. But let's look at where the benchmarks ended today. 3.5% cut for the Nifty. That's 500 points given up in today's session. Nifty ending at 14,300 or just above that mark. That's the worst fall since the 26th of February of this year, when global markets saw a sell-off after US bond yields rose. Among the participants on the Nifty 50, 46 out of 50 ended in the red. The only pocket of strength was a couple of pharma names, and that included Dr. Reddy's Labs, which made quite the rally towards the end of the session on reports that the Sputnik 5 vaccine from Russia has received emergency authorization or emergency use authorization from the drug regulator, and Dr. Reddy's, remember, is contracted to manufacture that vaccine. So it saw quite a bit of gains, ending about 7% higher in a trade today. You also had, well, a few other pharma names, like I said, but on the losing side, Tata Motors lost nearly 10%. You had Adani Ports, which has been in focus of late, losing about 9%. IndusInd Bank down about 8.5%. SBI losing 6%. The list goes on, and you see quite a few of those large cap names taking quite the deep gashes in the session today. Zooming out to the broader markets, though, the market breadth still looked horrible at the end of the day, but in fact it was better than what you saw in the first half of today's session. You ended with 7 losers on the broader markets to every gainer, and earlier in the session, in fact, you had 9 losers for every gainer. So, well, a ray of sunshine at least at the end of the session today. The mid-cap and the small-cap indices lost significant ground today. Each lost over 5%, and well, in the recent past you've seen them outperforming the benchmark. Unfortunately, today they outperformed on the losing end. All of the sectoral indices ended in the red today. The Nifty Bank and Auto Index lost about 5% each. Nifty Media ended over 8% lower, and the Realty Index lost about 7.5%. Metals have been outperforming off late, but even that back lost over 6%. Now, a quick word on the why of it. I did mention this is on account of lockdown fears. We're still awaiting clarity as to what form it will take. There is a possibility that it may not be as stringent as it was last year. You could have a broadening of the term of the essential services, and there could be some leeway given to manufacturing clusters like the ones in Pune. You had Rajiv Bajaj speaking to ET Now, where he's also wondering what form the lockdown will take, and hopefully manufacturing activity will not get affected to the extent that perhaps some in on the street were fearing today. Remember, we have TCS earnings that will come out in just a short while from now, and that will likely have a bearing on how the IT pack as a whole performs at the start of trade tomorrow. Hopefully, we've hit a bit of a bottom and we can gain a little momentum from the levels that we've seen at the end today, but we'll have to wait and